Welcome back to Mix Masala with TG again, and finally we have the second half of this conversation happening, which is very intense, very serious, but we do have certain masalas here and there for you guys to enjoy. So, yes, if you have not listened to the previous session, please do have a listen because it is very important that you get an idea about what we are actually discussing here. It would be good for you to have a listen to the previous episodes and then listen to this, I suppose. We have our speaker Pronoy Chakraborty talking about Tantric Buddhism.
Things that you're sharing also are like so detailed and like एक समझ आने के लिए समय लगता है like to actually understand how you're narrating like the entire scene of like different schools and like thought process and they have conflicts also.
Like as in Tantric Buddhism. It's complex. It's complex. And then like finally what I'm working on with these Mahasiddhas or realized practitioners. So there is a list of 84 and again they closely overlap with the Shaiva Nath Siddhas. So the Shaiva Naths, they also have 9 Naths out, like 5 of them appear in the Buddhist list also. And I am specially focusing on one Siddha called Kanhupa because he was crazy. Yeah, I love crazy people. So yeah, I love a crazy Siddha. And he did a lot of stuff and he died in a very, very like interesting manner at the hands of a Dakini. And in one Marathi text says that the Leela Charita, it is mentioned that they engaged in a sexual fight and the Dakini sucked all the fluids and liquid out of him. So these are very important, like interesting things for me.
So how did you figure like I mean I'm sure to get some references or a piece on certain like research that you're doing, you know, like कुछ specific चीज़ों ढूंढ रहे होगे and like how do you go about it, like I mean is there like good documentation happening already or
Yeah, there's a lot of text and a lot of work has happened since the 19th, 20th century. A lot of translations from Tibetan manuscripts, which is already happening. A lot of it is still in China, Tibet occupied China, and that's not been like given, and the access of it is very restricted. So that is also there, but a lot of material is there. And in India also, like this Kanupa, there's evidence, archaeological evidence from Western India. So initially we used to think that Tantric Buddhism was like restricted to eastern part of India, Bengal, Bihar, Assam. But now the archaeological finds and a lot of other evidences are saying that no, it was quite pan-Indian. So right from Mangalore in the south to Goa, Gokarna, to Gujarat, to Maharashtra. So the Tantric presence was quite pan-Indian. But right now, a lot of things are happening, so which we better not talk about. But yeah, so right now it's not a good time to talk about all these esoteric practices with the fundamentalism that is growing in our country. And that is one of the major reasons also why I tried applying abroad, and I was like working really hard last year doing my applications, because here it's very difficult to publish a lot of things. There's the issue of censorship, and my paintings also have a close connection to the research which I do, and a lot of it has sexual erotic imageries, phallic parts, which right now is not very safe to be shown.
all right
Intense.
We are going intense. Yeah. Right, join now. Yeah, I mean, it's good to be also sharing. I think there's, it's like this unused organ in the body, which sooner or later turns out as a vestigial organ, which you can cut it off, and then it has no use. So before that happens, I feel like that it's very important to have like the new generation documenting this entire practice also.
Yeah, a lot of work is happening abroad. That is like quite surprising also with these traditions that lot more work is happening abroad than in India.
Okay.
And like, because while I was applying, like many of the universities I applied to, including Berkeley, Santa Barbara, they had a like good group of scholars, young students, and very few of them are Indian. Most of them are Americans or from elsewhere, but they are doing very good work on these areas, these lesser known areas: Tantric Buddhism, Tantric Shaivism. University of Virginia, a lot of good professors are like really publishing good volumes. So yeah, in India the work has died down since the 70s or 80s. The scholarship was quite good from the early 20th century, starting with Haraprasad Shastri, who found the manuscript of songs actually in Nepal,
Okay.
written by these Siddhas. And Dinesh Chandra sir, Dinesh Chandra Sen, and a lot of people were doing really good work till about the 80s. And yeah, Shashi Bhushan Das Gupta and all, but after they passed away, the last generation, this work has not been happening that much. There are art historians like Pratap Aditya Pal in Los Angeles, California. He has been the director of the museum, county museum there. He has been doing good work, but the work which I am doing, I realized after my art history masters that art historical or visual methodology is not sufficient. I need to learn more of languages, and because it's across languages, I am finding texts in Old Bengali or like Proto Bengali, Sanskrit, Buddhist hybrid Sanskrit, Tibetan, Marathi, and Ahamiya, and all these languages are there. So it becomes quite complex as a subject.
And how's your practice in other languages happening? Like, can you now say something like you're taking some Tibetan language or something, na? So
I'm mostly studying classical Tibetan. So yeah, so it's not the colloquial Tibetan, but yeah, I memorized a prayer also once, a prayer to Manjushri. I don't know if I remember it now, but yeah. So that was going good, and like I was being taught by one Russian teacher and another Canadian teacher. So that was also quite new. Non-natives teaching a language, and I found it to be quite useful, especially for classical Tibetan, because there are so many particles, and with like same particle have different meanings depending upon the context. So they used to give us exercises, so that was quite interesting. And yeah, like once I'm a bit thorough and I especially know where my field work is going to be, is it going to be Tibet, is it going to be Nepal, so then I'll also study the colloquial language of that region. But not right now, I'm just focusing on the classical aspect.
So, and you were like also doing many things now.
Yeah,
Like,
so there were other curatorial things. The Baul project, Shawaja Shadin, was another project which I started doing during the pandemic. And this I see as an extension to my research on
how did
Tantric
it
Buddhism.
come to your attention? Like, हाँ, इधर मैं कर सकता हूँ. Was it like you had a plan and you like wanted
The
to?
Baul thing?
हाँ, like,
The Baul thing, actually, like I was inclined, like right, as I said, like right after my grandfather passed away, and in my loneliness, I used to be listening to Baul songs and used to wonder about the meanings. And then I found some connections with this Tantric Buddhist Siddhas, their rituals, the sexual fluids, and a lot of erotic practices which are very secretly there in that Baul practices also. So the Bauls are a bit more like rhizomatic, to say, like more of a ginger kind of a thing, which draws from many practices, does not have one single root.
okay.
So it doesn't borrow only from Tantric Buddhism, but it borrows from almost Vaishnavism, Buddhism, the Sufi practices, Nath practices. So it's like an amalgamation, a lot of practices. And song becomes their, like writing songs and performing songs becomes one of their primarily modes of aesthetic manifestations.
Okay.
So that my project actually started as a request from Devdas Baul, one of the senior Baul practitioners in Bolpur, Shantiniketan. and he said that like they're not being able to go out perform and they need some money. And like I was also not personally in a position to give them much, so three of our friends we gave them some 5,000 collectively, but then we figured out if we can do some online concerts and things like that, and then it started off. And yeah, for 1 year I was doing those online concerts, but then it was too much of a stress for me alone, because it was a kind of a very non-profit low budget kind of a thing. We were giving almost everything we were getting through the sales to the bows. So yeah, then right now once I am in California, I'll try to take it forward in a different way, like showcasing the work which we have done. I've been going to all their ashrams or akras where they stay and perform and sing, and yeah, I've been documenting that. And it's like we have been supporting around 4 or 5 families for around last 2 years through the Darashiko Foundation.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
share the name of your page so
Yeah.
that the
So it's
listeners
called
can.
Shahoje Shadhin, and
Can you spell it?
SAHAJESWADHIN. So we are there on Instagram, but currently we have been inactive for for some time. But we have a lot of archival material in store. Right now we are trying to figure out how to like slowly take it forward and have a social media campaign with all the content we have, because we have around 70 songs already recorded
Okay.
at their locations. So they're not very good quality productions, because it's like almost me traveling with a phone and a H14 recorder, so pretty basic, but that's a way
I
to
think it's
start, I think.
yeah. I think it'll be interesting to have
Yeah,
listen.
and I also want to subtitle them, because then it will be opening it up to a non-Bengali speaking audience also. So it's very difficult to subtitle Baul songs, because it has so many levels of meanings, and even like Bengali people, like those who are fluent in Bengali, would all at times not know what the inner meaning of the song is. So yeah.
What about the new generation that is now coming up as bowls? Like, are there any?
Practitioners, yeah, there are some gurus still who are teaching the secret practices, and a recent phenomenon which have also started, that people from the city Kolkata, urban people with an like good formal English education, they are also getting attracted to it, and many of them are taking initiation. People from Assam coming, other states also coming, becoming bowls, or foreigners coming. Parvati Baul herself, she's from a non-Baul Kolkata, like She had a home in Barashat, so she became a Baul. She's a like the most celebrated Baul today, and many of her disciples are from abroad. So it's becoming more of a global phenomena also. But yeah, many of the older Bauls have problems with this also. Yeah, that is
Okay.
also there.
Problems
They
because
think it's not authentic anymore, and the way it's spreading, it's not.
so they see like the commercial aspect industry sort of.
Yeah, taking over.
Ha.
So that is also there. But yeah, because like there's the other side also. Like many of these families who have been 6 or 7 generation of bowl singers and practitioners, their new generation, they are no more interested to take it further. So the place has changed. They have different kind of friends, hobbies. So music and this lifestyle is not what the younger people of many of their families want. So that is also there. Like I am primarily working with 2-3 families. Reena Das Baul's family, the younger generation, the next generation, they are still very attracted to music. They want to continue it as a profession. Also because their village is slightly away from the city, has no such commotion, no such disturbances. While Bolpur has become so urbanized, the soundscape has changed. There's always loudspeakers going on. So their kids, like Lakshman Das house or Devdas's family, they would not, like the younger kids, they are not taking up music or bowl music as a profession.
and I guess this is happening everywhere, like in all the rural areas.
Yeah, the
The
villages
kind
are
of,
changing so
yeah, villages are changing
faster than the cities
exactly,
actually.
exactly.
Because when I travel to the villages, at times like there's loudspeakers going out till 12 in the night, starting at like the lot of drugs have also entered, like brown sugar and all, happening in the villages right now. So it's not how it used to be.
Mm.
Many young people having lot of motorbikes, driving late at night, being very rowdy. These things have started in the villages and are more disturbing in the villages than even in the cities right now. Especially in Bengal, like for the last 2 years, I have been seeing
Okay.
politically also, like more of extremism is there in the villages, because I think education is less, so that becomes another, and the lockdown has made it even more worse.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Their government schools are not operating like at all, almost intense.
Intense.
Little bit of masala. I mean salt.
So have you listened to my like other podcasts?
Some
Just-
of them, some of
I'm
them
just
have
asking,
listened.
like,
Yeah, some of them I have listened to around like the first season, maybe 3 or 4 podcasts I listened to them like completely. And yeah, the second season, like because I've been traveling, I have not been able to listen to all of
Mm.
them. But yeah,
just tripping man, like
yeah.
पता है ना, like
Yes.
दो किलो तो 2 किलो.
The 2 kilo, 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 the 2 kilo. Aloo de do. To just make things lighter, on a lighter note.
You're flying. Ah, it's pretty hot, man. I'm
Yeah.
very sorry. Like, yeah, if I switch on the fan, then there's going to be a
A
lot of
noise, yeah.
lot of noise happening.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
I mean,
But still, evening is better, much better.
yeah,
I think.
this evening only, na.
Like then the afternoon.
Hmm.
Afternoon is really, really bad.
I think अच्छा time पे हो रहा है.
But yeah, if we again go to college, I think some life is not there. That is the problem.
Very sad, na. Very saddening to see. I mean,
Yeah, things are happening because like student का भी वो unity ये सब थोड़ा बहुत problems
what do you think like about the actual art scene that is now happening
in India.
everywhere in India, like
Yeah.
festivals and binales and
Finales
fairs
and
and
art
trinales?
fairs.
Yeah. What you say in that? Like, I
It's
mean,
very fancy. It's very fancy. I don't like to go to openings. It's too fancy for me. I like to be with bowls. That's cool. And sit on the floor. You can do your stuff. There's no idea of pretension. You have to be someone. And you have to explain. Like the
Yeah.
worst part is explaining artworks. Like as a curator, you have to give a walkthrough. Like people, you have to explain artworks to. That's sad.
So-
Very sad.
so tell the listeners, like, what else do you do, like, after doing your research
Tantric Buddhism
and tantric Buddhism?
and painting, and then I
What are
tried
your
a bit of
hobbies?
curation, this that. Hobbies? This is my hobby. My hobby is my profession. That's why I did not become a doctor. Because I'm like hobby और profession के बीच में gap नहीं रहना चाहिए. Yeah, I study languages, and then I do a little bit of drawing, a little bit of painting, a little bit of video editing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
All right.
Yeah, like organic, like
Do you think, like, as a curator, art curator yourself, like, is it good to have the curator also do some practice, or
yeah, like
depends
at
on the
times-
subject, individual?
Yeah, depends on the individual, but you have a practice, then it becomes much easier to understand. Like at times you have more entry points to the other's practice, and yeah, but it's not always important, because there are people from English literature background, history background,
Mhm.
doing like good work in curation. So yeah, it's like an overall idea of how you want to present what the idea you want to present, and how you are selecting artists and artworks. But yeah, so I have like done a couple of curatorial projects
Mm-hmm.
with artists and with mostly friend like peer artists from Baroda. But yeah, that's another aspect which like it's good. Like some people enjoy the contemporary art and the how art scene, how it operates with all the jazz and all the wine and all the cheese. But yeah, I don't like wine and cheese. I have a stronger stronger things to get high with
Mm.
that wine and cheese and smiling to people. That's not what we do. We laugh. We don't smile.
Oh, good man. I mean, don't you miss curating? I mean, you have been
A
doing
lot
all-
of problem with artists. Artists are also chutias. Galleries are also chutias. So like, if you are a curator, you are stuck between chutias. So you yourself become a chutia. So don't do. I don't do that anymore. I'm like, yeah, gallery artist doesn't want to send image. Artist doesn't want to do this. Artist doesn't want to do that. Artist has so much problem, so much attachment to artwork. Galleries are also another piece. So let's not do that. Let's have peace.
Yes.
Let's have
Yes.
some peace for some time, and maybe if the system is a better system, and yeah, but it's difficult at times because here, like the curator is supposed to do a lot of work which actually a gallery assistant should do,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's the artists are also the like that's also like honestly artists also don't have the so yeah, so it's on both the sides. It's not like so yeah, like it has to be very systematic and the curate like if gallery system has a whole corporate structure to it, so artists getting adapted to it, that doesn't also always work. So there are problems, so that has to be bridged. But again, artist collectives, there's also like art individual artists also like often have a clash of egos, so like the collectives falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
That has also been historically a problem. Then artists cannot do all the work by themselves,
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to clients, getting things sold. So yeah, how that has to be done and how the practice needs to be sustained. These are questions which we need to think about.
Mm-hmm. Do you think like there should be sessions in college where we just talk about and discuss about how ऐसा बैठ के बात करने का और
अभी तो बात ही नहीं कर सकते कॉलेज में, तो अभी क्या बात करोगे कॉलेज में? इज लाइक यू कांट टॉक, इज लाइक यू पर अलोन यू कैन फ्रेंड्स नो फ्रेंड्स अलोन
alone.
हाँ, कॉलेज में इज कैन डू टॉकिंग एट ऑल, बट यू कैन टॉक.
Yeah.
There need to be more platforms like this to talk and share thoughts. So yeah, right now like the online lockdown has made quite things the world a very different place also, because it's so easy to meet people, to discuss ideas, to collaborate. So many so-called boundaries are breaking again with the lockdown. So these are the positives which I have felt in the lockdown. Attending both the language classes I do, Sanskrit and Tibetan, are online, and it had been working really well for many of us.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's mostly
All right.
life.
So for today's session, we'll keep it till here, and maybe if you have time tomorrow,
And continue.
yeah, we can continue another session. We talk more
Maybe
about
online.
online also.
Yeah, after
What-
I go to California,
Yeah.
then we can have another
Yeah.
third session.
Oh, third session also coming up, second also coming up, and
If there is third, there is always a second.
yes. Well said. So yeah, thank you for listening, and you can check out the links to his work and pages.
You
Page,
can add a
yeah,
little bit of masala.
yes, and add a little bit of masala. I mean
Salt.
salt.
Purigu.
Purundu. Purundu thabe. Yeah. Do you make burundus?
Purundus, no.
Sorry guys, this is like after credit thing we are doing. Purundu to like, when was the last time you actually made a purundu? We don't make na. I don't think it was purundu though. Like I made something closer, but it was omelette. It wasn't.
Anyway, thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you.
We hope that this series of episodes have helped all of you in understanding the culture of Tantra and Tantric practices. Thank you for listening, and before you leave, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on our other social media pages. We are building up a blog and a YouTube channel where we will be sharing all these podcasts in that channel with visuals. Let's support each other and help each other grow. It will be very interesting. And to all my international listeners, I love you and have a good day, and see you on the next